So, how is everybody doing? Summer is starting to really kick in and it is getting hot. In fact, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. It is just too hot. Oh, that's so much better. I've actually been kind of busy this summer. This month, particularly, I've been working on a new curriculum to teach kids on a homeschool program how to use Blender for 3D printing and 3D animation, which has been me learning a whole new set of skills or refining this set of skills so I can teach them. And I'm really enjoying it. But at the same time, it's kind of leaving me burnt out for doing videos. Although I do have this sweet setup now, so I can take videos really quickly and have everything be high quality. So I feel like I'm going to start producing some videos of a more educational content, and I hope that you're looking forward to that because I really want to answer some of your questions about doing 3D printing and how to model for 3D printing and things like that. But today, I've also been working on this side project that has kind of occupied my time, and I'm loving it. There is a YouTuber, Imfenzia. He's from Sweden. I love his content. He does these 10-minute modeling challenges. He really knows Blender inside and out and does a fantastic job of it. And he recently 3D modeled a chess set in 10 minutes. Chess set, board, everything. It was really spectacular. Now I love 3D printing chess sets. Chess sets are kind of my 3D printing hoard, my collection that I like to make. So when I saw this, I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I do 3D printing. Can I 3D print your chess set?" He said, "Oh, that would be really cool." So he sent me over the file. Now the file that he sent me is a Blender file, but it's not really ready for 3D printing. There is an art to modeling for 3D printing and preparing your models for 3D printing. And he's not doing that. He's just doing it to get a model out. And maybe he's got in his mind that he could use this for Unity later. You see the way that he textures things and adds color to them is so that he can use them in video games, but not necessarily for 3D printing. So these models are going to need some adjustments. And in the vein of his videos, I'm going to try to prepare these models for 3D printing, going all the way to slicing them. Of course, the prints themselves are going to take a lot more time, but I think that I can he took 10 minutes to model this. So if it takes me 10 minutes to finish them up for 3D printing, that's too much. I'm going to do it in 9. Now, not to, yes, I should be able to do this in 2 minutes. No, because I'm going to be doing a couple of things. One, he models everything in one model. I've got to break them apart into separate models. Two, I've got to then scale them actually, because the difference between scaling in 3D printing and Blender units, I've got to scale it properly. And then three, I'm going to prepare the board for dual color 3D printing on my FlashForge Creator Max so that we can have this be really cool and flashy. So this is going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be a little bit more work than just separate it and throw it out, the dual color trick. And like I said, I'm also going to try to, in that 9 minutes, prepare it for 3D printing by throwing it through the slicer. So let's see if we can do this. All right. Loaded all up. Here we go. Starting the timer and go. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is separate everything by loose parts, exit edit mode, and then really I just need these guys here and the board, so hide everybody else. And just to make life easier on myself, I am going to name them, but to be fast, I'm just going to use standard notation and just use the one letter to name them because speed right now is key, okay? F2, king, and board, but we'll be doing some more with the board later. Though right now we need to scale everything up. This is about 9 millimeters, so I need to scale it up by 30. Is that correct? That'll make that about 27 centimeters. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now these are the right size. So using the 3D print export tool, we're going to export, 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 export. Now these were not designed for 3D printing, so let's jump in real fast and let's take all those pieces that we just exported, drop them into the slicer. Yes, you could go away. I'll deal with you later. Yes, yes, yes. Apparently there was some bad normals on the night or something, so we'll fix that later. Let's auto layout all. And we need one more of those, one more of those, one more of those, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. I'm actually pretty happy with that arrangement. It's not perfect, but we need to add supports on here. So let me just check my settings real fast. Yep. Okay. Auto supports. Cool. Put them underneath the king, but I think we need to beef up the nose of the knight just a little bit, or it'll never print. Hey, come back here. Oh yeah, I didn't even put them on that part of the knight. I wonder what's going on there. That's not a problem. We'll just fix that right up. Boom. I'm just gonna overload the all right, standard settings. Oh wait, there's one important setting. I need to set it to the left extruder. Left extruder is for printing with PLA. Right extruder is for printing with supports and other stuff. Okay, that's working on that, and while it does that, I'm pretty much done with these guys, so I'm just gonna hide them. We're gonna work on the board. So first thing I need to do with the board is in wireframe mode. I need to make it thinner. No offense, but this board's too thick. If I'm going to be wasting plastic on it. Okay, let's go back to solid mode. And in face select mode, select all these faces and select checker deselect. What's it complaining about? Select checker deselect. No active. Are you serious? I just have to select one of these? Now you're going to be happy? I suppose the checkered. No, it didn't even choose that. Wow, well, whatever. Extrude down by 2, duplicate it so we have our other colors, extrude up by 2, expand the selection, and separate by selection. Oh, we're not done though. We're not done. I want to take these faces here, extrude them up, and just make a nice little loopy edge for this thing that can be I don't know, just a I want to take advantage of the multicolor that I have possible. So I'm going to take these guys and I'm going to separate them. You know what? I'll make them a little bit smaller. Maybe even a little bit smaller. Okay. Separate them. And now in edge mode, I'm going to grab these and bridge. I discovered today, there we go, bridge edge loops, that Blender 2.9 is going to put that bridge edge loops in a much more convenient place. Let me just make sure that worked. Okay, good. And then I need to grab these guys and that guy. Again, bridge my edge loops, extrude, Z to excellent. Now I'm going to take this and that, nope, that and that, join them together. That is my one color, that is my other color. And if I were as cool as I can't even pronounce his name, I'm so sorry. But if I were as cool as the guy who made this model, I would be able to simply do this all in one, but I can't. I would be able to change the colors as I'm going. I'm so impressed that it does that. Okay, now I'm cleaning up these faces here and I'm breaking it into quarters because I will never be able to print this in one solid piece. As cool as that would be, the printer I have just doesn't do that. Okay, now I need to take some time. Board 1 and board 1C. Board 2 and board 2C. See, oh, that took so much time. Okay, export them. But it will pay off because when we come over here to slice, and how are we doing here? Okay, we're good. Thank you very much for that slice. Let's pull up the board. Board 1 and board 1 color. See, I wouldn't have been able to tell which one was which. Okay, don't move them. Don't let it move them around on the platform, but do the repair. Because if you let it move them, they won't be aligned anymore, and that's a problem. Okay, let's rotate. Oh, no, select everything, rotate them together. They need to be together from now on. Okay, good. Move, center, and put yourself on the platform. Looking at you from the front. You get to be the left nozzle, and you get to be the right nozzle, and you're to the left and you're to the right, so that's good. I think, though, I need to rotate it just a little bit, but I don't want to rotate it. Okay, so I don't want these two colors to overlap because I got to think about where the two nozzles are. So I'm going to rotate it like that. Okay, let's print it up. Let's make it chunky so it prints faster because this is going to take forever. Yes, we want the wall, and no, we don't want the brim. Okay, there's the board. 1, how we doing? We're doing great. And come on. All right, I love this wall, and I could gush about it all day long, but I don't have time. I need to hustle. All right, see if we can get the other one done in 20 seconds. There we go. No, don't move it. Feel free to repair it. Go away. No, don't move it. Feel free to repair it. Okay. Rotate. Nope. Select them both. Rotate. Fantastic. We doing good? Good. You're the left nozzle. Select them both. Put it on the platform. Center it. Let's rotate it a little bit so it'll work. Make sure we keep the left to the left and the right to the right. Groovy. Print. Chunky. Okay. No, what? Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. What happened here? Okay, we gotta rotate. Reset the rotation. What happened here? Why did they move? Okay, let's see if I can just... I can't believe that worked. Okay, let's do it. Hold on. Left to the left, right to the right. We're wasting time here. Print. Chunky. Okay. Yes, wall. No, those. Okay. And done. My goodness. Okay, that was... I'm going to count that as good because waiting for the slicer shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to wait. But, oh, my goodness. That was close. So, there we go. Everything's loaded up on the SD card. All I need to do is throw it at the Creator Max and it's good to go. I'm thinking I'm going to print the white side using this really cool marble material from Amolin. I've had this for a while and yeah, the thing's chipped, but it's got these little black flecks in it, so I'm looking forward to that. The black side, I'm going to try a couple of different things. I have some samples of some black filament, so we'll see how that goes. And the board, I'm thinking I'm also going to use this marble for the white, but for the black, I'll maybe use some brown for an accent. So let's throw this at the 3D printer and see how it goes. Okay, can I be totally honest? That did not go as planned. 10 minutes to model, 9 minutes to prepare for 3D printing. Like 3 weeks of trial and error to get this to print. The pieces went fine. Well, for the most part. The white side went great, but I was planning on doing a black glitter filament for the other side. I thought it would look really good, but unfortunately it just kept clogging the nozzle. Even if I tried printing one at a time, I thought maybe it would stay unclogged long enough. No, no. That black glitter filament, not going to recommend it. It just was not working well for this 3D printer or just well at all. So, okay, that one's out. I just decided I'm just going to do the other side in black PLA, just straight black. And it turned out okay. Both of the sides turned out, I think, very admirably looking. Then there was cleaning off the supports, which this is why I designed for no supports. It's just a pain in the neck. It wasn't too bad though. Cleaned off all the supports, got that done. And then I started 3D printing the boards. Now, the first pass at printing the boards, I had them tilted more or less straight towards, but a little bit away. See, the reason why I didn't print them laying down at all was because with two nozzles on the same carriage, like on the FlashForge Creator Max and so many other 3D printers, a lot of dual nozzle 3D printers do this. While one nozzle, so say this nozzle's doing the printing, the other nozzle's drooling, and it will just drag itself across the top of your 3D print and just leave deposits. You'll see like an echo of the wrong color just, you know, one nozzle width away from the other one. So I didn't want to do that. And my thought was by standing it up and tilting it just a little bit, that while the one nozzle was drooling, it would be drooling not on the front of the print. But I I don't know why I thought to print it straight towards and tilt it just a little. Why not print it completely sideways and get that nozzle completely out of the way? The nozzle still intersected the other print in a lot of places, and you could see a lot of places where it was just garbage. Now, on that first print, though, there was a problem that I should have seen looking at the shell on the outside, but for some reason, the marble white side cut out for a while and then came back in, like there was a jam or a clog or something like that. And so that was one problem. But as I went and printed, that didn't repeat as a problem. So I thought, well, maybe I could fix this with a 3D pen and draw that in. For the most part, that worked. I thought maybe I could save this. So there's a technique called wet sanding where you just sand things while they're wet. Normally, when you sand a 3D print, it causes it to discolor badly. And hopefully by wet sanding, I was going to avoid this. So I sanded very wet. The goal is to take all those little dusty particles and just carry them away with water. That was the plan, but it didn't work. When it was done, you could still tell that the parts had been sanded, especially on the brown. Now, there is an additional technique that you can employ. You can use a heat gun to kind of theoretically remelt the top surface, and it'll sometimes give it a more shiny appearance and clear out the layer lines, but it should make it look less sanded. Except in this case, that didn't turn out to be true either. While I was hitting it with the heat gun, it's like the cracks that I created by sanding were expanding, and now even more of it looked sanded. So I turned up the heat gun even higher, thinking maybe it just needs to melt, and that started to work until I completely melted through the top of the board. I ruined that entire print. And what's worse, I was just about out of brown PLA. So I had to change gears one more time. And I decided, I've got this silk from TTTYT3D. And I absolutely love this silk filament. I've been using it to print printer blocks with. It's just gorgeous. It makes the layer lines disappear. And so I thought I'd reprint it in this. Well, that worked for 1/4 of it, and then it started to clog. And I can't tell you why, but for some reason the left nozzle refused to finish the print when it was dual printing. And I thought, I don't know what had started this, but I did move the printer out of here and moved it out to the shed. And I thought, well, maybe it's too hot out there and maybe it's just heat causing the problem. So I brought it back in here, and no, the problem persisted over and over again. I could only print a little bit. I'm still talking to FlashForge technical support to see if we can get this sorted out. And right after this, I'm going to start another test print and see if I can at least get it to print with one color, because single nozzle, left nozzle seems to be working just fine. Maybe it's a side, I don't know. I've got some work to do on this, but I've also got a chessboard to finish. So what am I going to do? Well, I have access to another dual nozzle 3D printer at the makerspace. It's a Raise N2 Plus, and it printed all the pieces very well. So now I've got all four pieces and I need to glue them together. Because I wanted to produce this quickly, I didn't put little notches or try to be clever about putting it together. I was thinking at one point I could use the printer block connectors. Oh my goodness, I could make a printer block chessboard. Imagine like you could rearrange the chessboard during. Oh my goodness, this is. I'll have to pursue this later. Let's focus. Okay, Starbond. I got sent this Starbond, and I'm using the medium thick because things aren't exactly matching up and it fills the gaps. But Starbond sent me this, what is it called? Accelerator. And if you've never done um, super glue or a CA glue with an accelerator. I had never done it before, so I wanted to see how it works. So I took two junk prints with extremely uneven surfaces. I used the gap filling. I put a big old daub on there. I hit it with the accelerator, and it immediately became one solid mass. In fact, I'm pretty sure if I tried to destroy this, yeah, the bond stays, the print fell apart at the layer lines even, and this was printed laying down. That's amazing. However, there was a problem. The accelerator discolored. Let's see if I can get my camera to focus on that. There we go. It discolored the black side, and I just left white goobers on it, and I think it even discolored the other side. As much as I know Starbond wanted me to promote their glues and their accelerant, I cannot recommend the accelerant for 3D prints. It just ruins your 3D prints. So, yeah, unless you're planning on painting your print afterwards, don't use the accelerant. But just by itself, the glue, it cures in like 20 seconds. It holds at that point, and so I didn't really need the accelerant. I just put it together. But finally, after all that hard work, admittedly not much work in Blender, but boy, tons of work on the 3D printer, the chessboard is complete and I think looking rather good. I'm really impressed with how it turned out. I've never done a chessboard with dual color 3D printing, and while it wasn't perfect because dual color 3D printing technology isn't perfect, the effect is beautiful and I love it. Just don't look too closely at the flaws and you can just be darn impressed with the way that this looks. I'm pleased with it. I hope that I hope that my friend from Sweden is also impressed with this, because now I've got to package this up. I've got to mail this internationally and get this to him. And I hope that he likes it and appreciates it. Plus, I got to print some of these pieces for myself because, like I say, I collect chess boards or chess sets, and I like his chess set. It was really, really cool. Thank you very much to Imfenzia for making this available to me and for this really, really fun project. And I'm looking forward to doing some more modeling and 3D printing with you guys using Blender and 3D printing. If you guys have ideas for other projects that I can do, let me know in the comments. If you're not already watching Imfenzia's channel, you really should. He's fun and entertaining and very, very talented at Blender. So go on over there, leave a comment, tell him that I told you guys to say E to extrude S to scale, and I will see you guys next time.